Welcome to My Accent is No Accident podcast. I'm your host, Maritza Perez. Our guest today is known as the Body Pain Fixer, with a mission to help everyone live pain-free so they can do what they love. She's Ani Papazyan. Hi, Ani.
Hello.
How you doing?
Fantastic. Beautiful day.
Ani Papazyan is a pain resolution specialist, best-selling author, and a speaker with nearly 30 years experience. She holds a bachelor's degree in kinesiology and certifications in medical massage therapy, functional nutrition, and advanced translational nutrigenomics. As the founder of Last Stop for Pain, Ani empowers individuals to achieve pain-free living through personalized strategies and education. She has worked with diverse clients, including professional athletes and celebrities like Mark Burnett and Janet Jackson, helping them recover from injuries and stress. Ani is a sought-after expert in pain relief and wellness, dedicated to guiding others toward their health goals. Welcome, Ani. It's a pleasure to have you with us today.
Hello, Maritza. It's so happy to be here. Hello, audience.
I am very, very happy, and I want to ask you so many questions. So let's see if we can do. But the first one that I have is our theme question. Ani, what is your accent and why is not an accident?
Well, my accent is a mixture of, since I grew up in Armenia, so it has the Armenian in it. But because it was Soviet Union, our second language was Russian. So my accent is kind of almost like a mix of Armenian and Russian. And sometimes when I do my videos, or when I hear myself speak, it cracks me up because I pick up that Russian in there a little bit. So yeah, it's a mixture of Armenian and Russian, definitely.
Incredible. And as far as what you do, what brought you where you are today?
Well, it's my passion, and honestly, I have to say, me getting really angry and passionate when people, either their doctors tell them, at your age, it's normal to have body pain, or people get used to it, becomes a norm for them to live with body pain. And that gets me really upset. And I think that's the driving force of what I do and why I do it for 30 years.
Yes, for 30 years, you've been helping different people get through with their pain and relief, getting a relief, but also living a healthier and better life, doing what they love. So what do you think that the doctors are doing today that are not really helpful to their patients?
Well, again, this is generalized kind of an answer, because there are some amazing doctors out there who got into the profession because they truly want to help people. Unfortunately, our medical system, the way it's set up, is it's almost like a conveyor belt approach to health. So you go to a doctor because you have symptoms. You have pain somewhere or you don't feel well, and they ask you what are your symptoms. And then based on your symptoms, it equals to a diagnosis. And then that diagnosis equals, okay, you need to take this medications.
Yes.
But they don't come to find out what's the root cause of your pain, because you and I can have exact same symptoms, but both of our pain, the root cause could be completely different, which means the treatment approach should be completely different. But unfortunately, in our medical system setup, a lot of times that's not the case. And the other thing would be is, first of all, doctors don't have that much time these days to spend with the patient, to ask them all the questions, or they don't give chance to the patients to fully describe what they're feeling, how they're feeling, what's going on in their life. So, and that's the reason. And our system, I don't think it's set up more of a preventative health, but more of a, okay, you have this pain, take this medication, you'll be fine. Instead of take these preventative actions, then it will prevent you from down the line getting worse.
Yes. So it's more responsive than preventive.
Exactly. I love that word, responsive. Yes.
I see that in my personal experience. I see that a lot. I take care of my mom, and sometimes it's like, but no, that's not her lifestyle. No. And it's like, now that I'm aging, I also see that is like, that's not my lifestyle. Why is this happening? That's not what I do. No, that doesn't work. Like, especially I cannot take painkillers, and I have an inner ear issue where I get vertigo easily, so I cannot take heavy painkillers. And they're like, why not? And I'm like, because I'm telling you, I will get vertigo. And they usually want to go for medicine, and it takes a long to them. And I also see, because there are so magnificent doctors, but I also see, like, for instance, to get to the point to go to physical therapy, it takes you a long way before you get there. The poor doctor has to prove so many things before they send you to physical therapy. So I think that the root of that is because the insurance does prevent them from sending you to a therapy. They have to send so many proofs before. And by the time you go to therapy, it's already too late, or you're better.
I know, it's so interesting. It's backwards. Like I have a great example. One of my clients was seeing me for his back pain and the side of the hip pain. And I'm like, you have the symptoms of the labrum tear. I'm like, we need an MRI just to see exactly what it is. But the symptoms, I guarantee, because I've seen many clients with that pain and they got an MRI and it's a labrum tear. He's like, well, my insurance company won't give me the okay to get an MRI until I exhausted all the physical therapy. But I'm like, but you're paying me once or twice a month to see me. You're paying cash out of your pocket because I don't accept insurance. And it's backwards. Like, don't you want to know what's where your pain is coming from, why you're having those symptoms? So then we can treat it very properly, the exact issue, instead of just generalizing it. Let's just hope this works. It's like throwing a spaghetti against the wall and hope it sticks. Well, I think it was like 6-7 months later, finally, he got an MRI. He had 3 labrum tears. Oh, no. He ended up actually getting a stem cell injection, PRP injection, and that took care of his pain. Now, when I see him, it's a maintenance.
Yes. So that is sad, because sometimes it's just the best way. And I think physical therapy, everybody after 40 should start getting physical therapy because the massages, the exercises, the flexing that you get. I had a fall last year, and I fell on a knee, and the pain was terrible, and I couldn't walk. And it took the doctor they had to see me a couple of times prior to be able to send me to therapy, right? But due to there was inflammation and due to that there was a fall, the doctor was able to make some changes there, and she needs to go to therapy, right? But the funny thing was that they sent me to therapy first for the back. And then after 4 therapies on the back, and I'm like, but I cannot walk because the pain is in my knee. So no, you have to go to the back doctor first. Okay. So I went to the back doctor, then the knee doctor, which they were really good. And the therapist, oh my goodness, the therapist was amazing. So they were really good, but they were like not working with a good, like the system doesn't allow them to do, and they have years and years of experience in so many thousands of patients.
Yeah. And agree. And, I had a very similar experience like you did last year. I took a dive on a major street because of the street unevenness of the sidewalk. And I went to see doctors, and she barely palpated my knee like I'm a glass figurine that I'm going to break if she touches me. And then she's like, well, I can give you a prescription medication and an injection. I said, you don't know what it is. We need an X-ray and MRI to find out what it is. And then you can give me whatever. I said, first of all, I'm not taking any painkiller. And then the injection, you don't know what it is. She's like, well, go home, wait a month. If the pain still exists, come back. I went home, I called back, requested different doctors, went in right away. She's like, we need an X-ray and MRI to see what's going on. So then our approach can be specific. Like, that's the type of doctor we need. And, what you were saying with the physical therapy, unfortunately, like their hands are tied a lot of times, because if they send you the paperwork that said the back, even though your knee was hurting, they're not allowed to do anything on your knee because the paperwork says back. They have to do the back. Yeah. They won't do anything to the knee.
Yes.
It's crazy because otherwise insurance wouldn't pay.
Exactly. They couldn't do anything. They couldn't touch my knee. I mean, they were trying to, and there were exercises that I was like, I can't do it because of my knee. I couldn't bend my knee.
Yeah.
So finally, after 4 things, the therapist, the physiotherapist, that said that there were obstructions because of the knee movement. And then they sent me to an MRI and then the combined therapy finally. So it was fine. I finished, which is that this, I'm telling you, this was last year. I fell and I finished my therapy in June.
Oh, wow.
Yes, because it takes a long time for the
I ended up getting a PRP injection in my knee, which I had to pay out of pocket because insurance doesn't cover it. And that's what really helped me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So imagine that. So it's a long time. It's a long process. They don't help. But the good thing is that there are people like you that work on these issues and that you can get massage therapy and you have advanced manual therapy techniques. Do you want to talk about these a little bit?
Yeah. Yes. Thank you. One of the things, the reason I say I'm a body pain fixer, because a lot of times if you say I'm a medical massage practitioner, people always think of massage as, oh, it's just a relaxation, rubbing the body. You just do that because you want to relax. It's a spa thing. But I don't even do massage. I utilize so many very advanced, very unique manual therapy techniques that sometimes when the new client comes to me from a referral, they're in my office. They're like, I don't even know what you do, but so and so said you have to see Ani, so I'm here. Or they're like, one of my clients, she goes, you know what we call you in our house? We'll call you the good witch because I do such unique techniques. But the great thing is because of my, the kinesiology background and massage and functional nutrition and genetics background, I can combine these things and look at the body as a whole, not just from, the structural, muscular, and physiological things. It's just like your muscles and joints, because, sometimes it could be that you have a pain. I'd say one day I had a client with a knee pain and I'm working on his knee and I'm like, okay, it doesn't feel, the muscles around it don't feel tight. Nothing feels tight. And I asked him, like, do you have digestive issues? He's like, yeah. So I brought the specific supplement, digestive enzymes. I put it on his belly. I went back, checked the knee. I'm like, does this hurt? He goes, no. I take the supplement away, go back, it hurts. He's died a lot of times, it's we're energetic beings. Our body, we're energetic beings. So there is a muscle organ connections that we know. So sometimes you could have digestive issues and your pain could be somewhere else in the body that is not a muscular or tendon or ligament joint issue. It's more of a digestive issue. So I can work on that knee as much as you want. We're not going to get the results until we go and fix the digestive issue. And it happens so many times. I have told the client, you need to go talk to your doctor. You need to address this before you make your next appointment with me, because you're going to be wasting your time, your money, and my time. And we're not going to achieve any results. And then someone's going to ask you, are you still in pain? Yeah, you've been seeing Ani all this time and you're still in pain. Ani doesn't know what she's doing. It's like, no, we're not doing that.
Exactly. No, you don't want that.
Yeah.
But in the part that when you were talking about this, I noticed that you said in a part that genetics. So is genetics important in the process of recovery or health? And
yeah, in the last few years, genetics industry has been growing a lot. And a lot of times when you talk to people with genetics, right away they think of ancestry. Right away they think of 23andMe.
Yes.
But there are so many companies out there, and I work with a couple of them, that, our genes that we got from our parents, it's the foundation. It's how your body reacts to your environment, the foods we eat, the exercises we do. Even we're talking about the allergies, like seasonal allergies. You could have genes that make it so your body cannot break down histamine fast enough. So then you have higher, more allergy symptoms, or you can get those either seasonal allergies or environmental allergies more so than, let's say, someone like me, because I don't have those genes. Okay. So even though, I like to tell people, like, our genes are not our destiny. Just because you have the gene doesn't mean, let's say I have genes of, it's really hard for me to lose weight, but doesn't mean I cannot lose weight. I just have to work much harder at it.
Okay.
But knowing your genetic makeup, then we can create a lifestyle, personalized lifestyle action steps that are unique to you, because we are all unique individuals. And the same comes to addressing, the body pain, because genetically you could be more prone to having soft tissue injuries or prone to knee injuries. But knowing that, you can say, okay, you know what, this exercise is going to put me more at higher risk of injuring myself, or genetically my body does not recover as fast as, like, my body recovers really fast after exercise, but someone's body won't. So I can do high intensity exercise almost every day and be okay. But if your body doesn't recover fast enough and you try to do high intensity exercise every day, you're putting yourself at the lower immune system. Your immune system can go lower, which means you can get sick faster. You get like the flu or whatever. You put yourself at the higher injury risk. Your body breaking down more, easily. So, but knowing your genetic makeup, it's like this whole information you can learn about your body that is like aha moments that gives you.
Yes, exactly. So it is important that also um, in genetics is where you come from, the different countries, the different upbringings that you had, and different, the like and people from South America, for instance, and people from Europe, and people from North America, their bodies behave different according to their environment they are at.
Yes, it's definitely, the culturally, like how we grew up, the foods we're used to eating. Well, when we're looking at, when I look at someone's genetic report, it doesn't talk about the ancestral stuff. It just talks about your own. But in there, it would say, okay, let's say if you have this specific genetic variant, 66% of Caucasians, they have a higher potential of getting this, or maybe 30% of South Americans have a higher potential of getting this issue because you have these genes.
Yeah.
So yeah, those studies have done, and it's getting better and better. It's like a few years down the line, it's going to be so much more. And hopefully genetic testing will become a norm, like you get your blood work done.
That's the very
Like
first.
every doctor office will say, because genetic testing you have to do only once.
Yes.
It's not like your genes, it's not like blood work. It's not going to change. You do it once, but you can keep digging deeper and deeper and deeper. I've had mine done 10 years ago, I think. But every once in a while, I go back and look at my report and I learn something new because there is so much to look into it.
Hi, I'm very happy to know you are here watching our podcast today. It is an honor to be featuring so many entrepreneurs on the journeys of their inside voice, their accent that is not an accident. And we want to reach out more people like you who are creating a better world of diversity, inclusiveness, equity, and belonging. So please take a moment to hit the subscribe button below, like, and share to others. And even if you want to leave a comment, that'll be nice. Thank you for your support. And now back to the episode. Amazing. And that is true that if, I hope so too, that this becomes like a normal of something when you come for the first time to the doctor's office. Okay, this is the very first thing that we're going to look at, and then we're going to address what you're telling me that your symptoms are from here, and then it will be preventive. Like if we were more focused on preventive, and we were talking about this before, preventive help, then that will allow you to have a normal health and a stability in your life. That will be better, and we actually will live longer.
Absolutely. I was just on another a webinar. I was listening, and one of the things they brought it up, I think, and don't quote me on this, I think in some Asian cultures, the doctor doesn't get paid if the patient doesn't stay healthy. So the doctor only gets paid when you stay healthy. Imagine if that's how that was here. Like most doctors will go broke. Like seriously, because here it's all like when I take my mom to her doctor, which most of her doctors don't care much about me when I go with my mom, because first I ask questions. And then when her doctor says, oh, you need this cholesterol medication, and I ask why. Her cholesterol is normal without any medication. Why she needs a cholesterol medication? It's like, for her age, that's what we give. It's like, no, she's not going to take it. And thank God my mom doesn't like taking medication. So she's like, yeah, I'm not taking it. It's like, no, just because.
I remember talking about that. I had a friend that said something like that, saying that her family and her line of work, and she works out and everything. She was saying, I don't have high cholesterol and no one in my family does. And then they gave me this medicine because I hit 50. And I was like, at 50? Like, but 50 is the new 30?
It's the new 30. Yes. It is. I'm 55.
Yes.
Yeah. It's like, no.
So we were like very surprised. And it was based on the age. And then,
yeah,
like, well, probably they need to do a little refresher on their books. And then she did refuse. And nothing ever happened to her, obviously, because she didn't need it. But she did refuse as well. So, but there are also many things. I saw your blogs, and one of the things that is very important that we've been talking about is that your body tells you with the pain that there is a root cause of this, that there is something wrong with you. And then you were talking about the patient that you had with the digestive issues, but the pain was somewhere else. So what is, and how can we translate what our body is saying?
So, our body is such an amazingly designed, like a computer system, that yes, when you have pain, it's like your body's internal message telling you something is off. Pay attention to me. And unfortunately, sometimes people just ignore that message. Like, I can tell you how many times I've had clients, they call and like, Ani, I need to see you. I've had this pain for like 3 months. I was hoping it will go away. And then it didn't. It's getting worse. Now I have to come and see you. It's like, okay, when you have pain, again, that's your body's way of telling you something is off. Let's go see, my doctor, or call me, because at the beginning, once you feel the pain right away, it's easier for me to take care of that pain, or to figure out or say, okay, you need to see your doctor. Maybe you need to do some tests to find out what it is. Then we can address it. But you waited 3 months. Now it's going to take me much longer. If I could take care of it maybe in 1 or 2 sessions, now I may need like 5, 6 sessions for me to take care of that pain, which means the time that you have to take off from your schedule, the money that you have to pay me, all those times. But also it's like you said, finding out what's the root cause of your pain. It's funny. Sometimes there are people that are very in tune with their body. When they come, I ask, describe me the pain. Is it sharp? Is it dull? Does it refer anywhere? Is it localized? Does it increase with movement? Do you feel it more in the morning or at night? Some people, they tell me exactly. Some, they're like, it just hurts. Like, I don't know. It's just pain. That's the hardest to like figure out. Then I have to palpate. Does this hurt? And then when you do this, does this hurt? It's just really funny. But it's a process. It's a process. It's asking the right question. That's one of the reasons also, like when you go see the doctor, sometimes I have clients before they go see their doctor, they call me like, Ani, I'm going to go see my doctor with this reason. What questions do I ask? Because a lot of times, like we're saying, in the beginning, doctors don't have the time. They don't spend that much time with you. So if you don't know what questions to ask, they're not going to answer it.
Exactly. Yes. Yes. So many times when you go, and then I have noticed that many times when you go to the doctor and I am very aware of my body. And so I tell them absolutely everything because I think that the more I say, the better for them because they have more information. But so far I've had really good doctors. Only in a few occasions I've had moments when I am saying the things and they get like bothered, like, yeah, that's not related. Let me be the doctor.
Yeah, that definitely happens. But, finding out the root cause of your issue, where is it coming from? And it's funny, sometimes it happens. The client comes, let's say, they say, oh, I have a neck pain. And I go and work on their jaw. They're like, but it's my neck. I'm like, yeah, I know, but that's where you're feeling the pain. That's not where it's coming from. Let me fix where it's coming from. And then where you feel it, it will go away. And most of the time, that's what happens.
So that is very interesting. That is excellent. So there are a couple of exercises, and I have this problem where I cringe my teeth at night. So I have the
guard,
the mouth guard that I have to sleep with. My husband hates it, but and then nowadays it's not as bad. Before, remember how it used to like be
it would be like a whole device, like a Frankenstein thing.
Yes. No, it's just like an Invisalign thing. So there are a couple of things that the jaw will cause in your body. Do you want to talk about those?
Oh my God, the jaw is massive. I'm actually known for the TMJ and tongue release person. Like sometimes when the new clients come in and they're like, yeah, so-and-so sent that to me and they warned me that most likely you're going to put gloves on, go inside my mouth and release some stuff and release my tongue, work on my tongue. Yes, because, not just with the jaw TMJ, there's so much with the stress, you clench, you grind. But on top of it, the importance of like the tongue, there is several cranial nerves innervate in your tongue, the importance of the tongue, the connection to your brain. And you were talking about with vertigo, when you get in your middle ear because of the vestibular apparatus, it's in there and those crystals can get imbalanced, which can cause vertigo for you. And I've had clients, some horrible vertigo that their relative had to drive them and they walked into my office holding on to the wall because they were so dizzy. But, with your jaw, there's so many exercises and techniques that I teach my clients. Actually, I have one of my online courses, which is for neck pain, but majority of the techniques that I teach in that course is all about releasing your jaw and your tongue.
Yes.
To release the neck pain. But if it's okay, I would love to show you one simple technique for you that you can do that releases the chewing muscles, releases your masseter and temporalis here. And it's a simple technique you can do anytime, anywhere, nobody knows what you're doing. So if you put your thumb, you have your jawbone here, your mandible, you put your thumb right behind it, it's a soft spot. Do you feel it?
Yeah.
Okay. You're not pressing hard, but just a slight pressure. And make sure your head is neutral because a lot of times people will concentrate on this and they'll end up doing that. So
Okay.
keep it neutral. Now, if you push tip of your tongue to the roof of your mouth, you'll see under your finger it becomes hard, rubbery,
Yes.
right? You hold that for about 30 seconds. And what that does, that relaxes these jaw muscles. So as you're doing it, I'll mention, you'll feel it. Yeah. There is an addition to it. So a lot of times when people get stressed, they will clench their jaw, right? Well, when you feel stress coming on, if you do this technique, and then as you're doing at the same time, you turn your head to your dominant hand side. So if you're right-handed, you turn your head to your right. If you're left-handed, you turn your head to the left. So you're doing the technique. I put slight pressure here, push the tip of my tongue to the roof of my mouth. I turn my head to my right and hold that for about 30 seconds. What that technique does, it's not only relaxes your jaw, your chewing muscles of your mastication, but it also stops from your neck locking up. Because just think of it, a lot of times when we get into under stress, our neck just locks up, right?
Yeah.
But when you turn your neck, it breaks the pattern of locking up. So you're doing two techniques at once. I have a client who, once I showed her this technique, she goes, Ani, since then, every time I feel stress coming up, as soon as I do that technique, my jaw doesn't tighten up and my neck doesn't tighten up.
Yeah, I felt it like right here.
Yeah. I mean, for you, because you clinch, I would love if you were close by in Los Angeles, I would say, okay, come to my office, let me get inside and just do all that release. But at least, my course will completely teach you all these self-help techniques, and they're just simplest techniques, but they work amazing.
Amazing. I loved it because I felt like that. And I even felt a little bit of drainage on my nose.
Yeah, if you want to feel more drainage in your nose, you can, if you don't have any dental, like a partial things on top, if you push your thumb to the roof of your mouth as hard as you can for about 20 seconds, that will open up more.
Ah, awesome. I'm going to try that.
Yeah.
Of camera. That is amazing. So, this is the manipulation, and there is also the different the genetic test that you do. There is also something that is a functional nutrition and blood chemistry analysis, which is different from the genetics.
Yes. So usually when I do the genetic testing and analysis, I would always ask the clients if you have any latest blood works like 6 months ago, up to 6 months ago, sent me, because your blood test results is what's happening in your body right now. Okay. The genetics is the foundation. But I want to see your blood work because I was trained as a functional nutritionist to look at your lab test very differently. So imagine you have your blood work, right? Most of the time it's what tests they've done. These are your results in the middle, and the far right is the ranges. So if you're within those ranges, the doctor says, congratulations, you're healthy, everything is normal. When I look at the blood work, I don't look at the ranges on the side. I look at functional ranges, which are much more narrow. Okay. And if you're within those ranges, you're fine. But sometimes I would see things like, even though that client says, oh, my doctor said my blood work is normal, but I'm not feeling well. Like I don't feel 100%. Something is off. So I look at the blood work, and sometimes I would see blood sugar imbalances. So I would ask them, oh, when you don't eat, let's say 3, 4, 5 hours, do you feel this way? I'm like, yes, I do. Or I would ask them, when you eat a meal, especially if your meal, let's say you ate pasta, do you feel sleepy afterwards? Or do you crave sugar after a meal? They're like, yes, I do. Well, you have blood sugar issues. But my doctor said my glucose is normal. That's not the point. There are other numbers that would tell me that you have blood sugar issues,
Yes.
or you have inflammation, systemic inflammation, even though your white blood cells may be normal, but the differentials, the ranges, it would tell me, or you may have a vitamin B12 deficiency or folic acid deficiency that your body needs it, or vitamin D, even though on your blood work it doesn't say so. So that's the things I see as a functional nutritionist. We see those things just because we were trained to look at it differently.
Incredible. I love this. And especially because you mentioned something very, very important. You mentioned something that is so triggering to many people, and it's the blood sugar levels. And your body, like when there is something that happened here to my daughter and I when we for a while we went like every time we ate after the meal we wanted to have something sugar. And then I said, I don't think this is normal. Like we are not on vacations, and this is not like the regular. Like you're not supposed to have like dessert after. And this happened after Christmas that we had people over, and everybody had like different desserts after dinner and things like that. So we really, what I think was that we probably ate too much sugar.
And then your body craves more and more.
Yes, exactly. So we had to go ahead and like cut down on the sugar intake until
The craving stop.
the craving stops. So that this is very, very interesting because that one probably was that somebody, our body was craving for the sugar, but sometimes there is something deeper than that. There is something that is not good to have.
Sometimes if you heard others, either some doctors will mention it or other functional nutrition practitioners or just nutritionists may mention that when you feel like hungry, stop for a few moments, wait, or drink a glass of water. Maybe you dehydrated instead of hunger. Because a lot of times we could be, so many people when I look at their blood work, I also see dehydration, but they're like, but I drink so much water. You know, the saying, you are what you eat or drink, it's not true. You are what you assimilate, what your body absorbs.
Okay.
Because if it doesn't absorb into your cells, it still stays outside of your body. So we need to make sure that our cell membrane integrity is healthy. We have proper amounts of the minerals, the pH balance is normal. We have proper amounts of essential fatty acids, like the omega-3 and the 6 ratio is proper, because all that is going to allow the cells of our body to absorb the nutrients that you're eating and drinking. So many people are dehydrated because their cells are not absorbing, and that can contribute to high blood pressure also.
Yes, exactly. And I have a couple of things that I wanted to ask you about that part of blood, um, the blood sugar levels and the cholesterol. But we're getting to the end, and I didn't want to like just rush it through. But you mentioned it very well because sometimes that is the root cause of many things like headaches, feeling like you mentioned it, feeling tired, even your skin color, and then getting a couple of like for women, you will start getting like stain, like,
Yeah.
marks on your faces, on the back of the neck. Um, all these things. And sometimes, if you don't mention these changes to the doctor is going to see you and that he's going to think that you're like that, unless it's been a doctor that has known you your whole life.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So, one of the things I always tell, like, ask questions. Just make sure, ask your questions. There are no dumb questions. They could be the simplest questions, but those are your questions. Ask it.
Exactly. I think that doctors don't like me because sometimes I go with my notebook and I'm like, what? I have a couple of questions. And then I write down the answers, and it's just so that I know what to do. So yes, and the important thing is that this is about you, so don't ever feel like, I always tell people, don't feel like they owe you, owe them something. It's no, that it's your health, it's your body, it's you. This is you.
That's why, I believe, and in the beginning, when you're reading my bio, it's all about, you being in charge of your own health, being your own health advocate.
Yes.
And do your research. I'm not saying go and Google everything, every symptom, because that would drive you crazy. And not everything on internet is true. So if you don't know exactly where to look for to get the proper information, most likely you'll end up with the wrong information. But take charge of your own health. Be your own health advocate for sure.
Yes, that is true. That is true. So, Ani, we have talked about so many things today. We talk about where you come from, or how is your accent. Your accent is to help people, but you're Algerian and Armenian, and also from, like, Russians, and you have all these mix of cultures in you. And then today, you're working from Los Angeles and helping people get better, get free pain. Then also, we talk about the importance of genetics, the chemistry of your blood, the nutrition, how nutrition is important. We touched a little bit about that. We didn't get to talk about compounds and other things, but maybe this is just an opening to a second interview.
I would love to come back and continue our conversation, definitely.
Yes, exactly. So with all this, I would like to know if you will, you please let them know, let the audience know how they can find you and where they can find
Yes. The easiest place to find me is my website, laststopforpain.com. And I do have several free resources that you guys can go and download them. And I'm sure Maritza is going to put my gift that I'm giving to you, the 5 body pain hacks, which is for the next 5 days, you will get very short 2 to 3 minute videos of actual techniques where I teach for neck pain, for back pain, for lymphatic drainage. That it's a PDF you can download, the videos you get to watch, lots of resources. Or from there, you can connect with me on most social media sites that I am. Definitely.
Amazing. I will put everything in the comments and in the description of the episode. And how can you help them? Can you do this virtually as well, or is only
both? Yeah. I mean, when someone has body pain, it's definitely easier when they're in my office and I have my hands on and I'm palpating. But there are so many techniques I can teach over Zoom sessions. All the genetic and nutrition stuff is done over the Zoom. It's online. So there is no need. You can be anywhere in the world and still work with me on those things. I do offer a 50 minutes complimentary session, which when you go to my website, you can just book with me. If you have any questions, I'll be more than happy to assist you. If I know the solution, or if I can suggest a technique or give you a resource where to go, the path that you should definitely take, I will be happy to.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Annie, for being here with us today. This was a beautiful conversation. The first day that we met, it was beautiful too. It was like we have known each other for a long time. Thank you so much. Would you like to leave the audience with the last thought?
Yes, I would love to. Thank you, Maritza. It was, as you mentioned, when we first met, it was just like, we just clicked. And I'm so grateful to be here and to share my passion with your audience. One of the things I love to leave, usually, even when I do my talks, either live talks on stages, is you never learn to live with pain. And whatever you heard today, what one action step that you are going to take today? Just one. We talked about so many things. Just take one action step today that's going to take you a step closer to your health goals. What would that be?
Oh, beautiful. I love that. Thank you so much, Annie, for being here with us today.
Thank you, Maritza. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. To you, my audience, thank you so much for being with us today as well. And remember, you're a being of love that came here to be loved and love one another. Thank you and have a good day. Bye. Hi, it's Maritza here. If you like this episode of My Accent is No Accident podcast and would like to listen more like this, subscribe wherever you're listening to it or watching it. Leave us a nice review and share with your friends, family, and network. Thanks for listening.